Hi everybody. To start, my opponent agreed with all my claims. So if I can prove that the UN can actually take this action and that it doesn't break the treaty from 1972, then I have won this debate. Let's start with her saying that the United Nations does not have the military power to back this resolution. Now, what we must see is that the economic power the UN holds, according with sanctions, would be more than enough to enforce their demand to end the hunt. Next, my opponent brings up how the treaty passed in the 70s prevents any UN action. However, the United Nations has been trying to, for the last 40 years, pretty much since the passing of the treaty, to end an annual whale hunt in Japan. Just last month, March 31st, in fact, the United Nations decided that the Japanese people had to end said whale hunt. So, in theory, the treaty is a happy victory, but in practice, it doesn't actually affect the decision-making process of the United Nations. Moving on. She brings up her tradition of Easter dinner, and while it would be wrong to end it, as she says, the problem with it is that, as far as we know, she isn't slaughtering any dolphins or, massacring chickens. So while it would be wrong to end it in that situation, if she was doing, I don't know, anything that was illegal or immoral, we would have every right to end said tradition. It's a completely different concept. If she was hurting people, for example, the tradition would be ended so fast and she would be in jail like that. She goes on to explain that the UN is meant to end conflict and not to start it. That's all well and good, but she's forgetting that there is a very real conflict out there in between the majority of many countries, many political and animal rights groups, and Japan. There's a conflict. And so, since the UN has to end the conflict, they have the right to act, and they should be acting on this issue. Next, her 2 points that she brings up contradict each other. She says that the UN has to stay neutral, and shouldn't use, and then they shouldn't use sanctions because Japan is one of the United States' best allies. So she has to pick which one she wants to choose: neutrality or United States allies in the forefront. She can't say United Nations has to be neutral, but the United States can't vote for it. The United Nations should be neutral and base this off of what is right and what is wrong. Lastly, she produces a counterplan that says that the Japanese people should decide this for themselves. The problem with that is that the dolphins are not Japanese property, then they don't get to decide how they kill them. Beyond that, our global society has advanced to such a point that we cannot allow such barbaric and cruel practices to continue. That being said, there's no way we can sit back and just watch as these dolphins are being slaughtered. Now, I have proved that the United Nations can and willingly have enacted this power in the past and continue to use it now. So her entire case falls, and she agreed with all my claims. It's wrong to eat these dolphins. We can't. The killing method is wrong. So there's no reason to allow this to continue. That in mind, we must act and demand the end of the dolphin hunt in Taiji. Thank you.